If you just clicked onto this YouTube video and you're new to this channel, my name's James. I make art and watercolor videos here on YouTube, and in today's art vlog, I'm thinking to talk about my art goals for 2025. Even though it's already March, it's never too late to set new goals, and I really want to talk with you guys about how I'm learning how to paint and learn how to draw as a beginner artist, starting as an adult after I quit my 9-to-5 job less than 2 weeks ago. So yeah, I quit my job on a whim. I want to be more creative, I want to learn how to draw and become a character designer, but I also want to experiment with traditional mediums, so watercolor, and I really like digital art just because it's what I'm familiar with so far, so I'm trying to use my time between digital art and watercolor. But in today's video, while I talk about my goals and just a little bit about my background before I decided to quit my job and go all in on art and YouTube for some reason, if that's relatable, let me know in the comments. I've found some other fun YouTube channels recently that are also on a very similar path. I tend to gravitate towards people that go in with an all-in mentality and just like quit what they're doing, even if it's a little bit risky, and just go all in on their passions, because that's the way I feel like I will find success in the future, because trying to balance my artistic self with corporate persona or corporate work life wasn't useful or helpful for me at all. So anyway, let's go into my watercolors and organize them. I want to start working at cafes as well. At the moment I'm working from my house and the workspace is a little bit cramped. I was working from home in my corporate job before I quit it, so I've been revamping my space to be a little bit more creative, a little bit more fun. So yeah, come with me to these little art palettes together with the new watercolor paints that I got. So I'm gonna do an overhead view now, so we'll talk there. See you soon. Okay, so today I'm going to be working with this Holbein artist watercolor palette. Oh, I was holding it in the wrong space, but yeah, I got this on Amazon. It's from Japan. It says Natsuki selection. I guess that could be an artist, or it could be for the season of summer. But yeah, the colors inside are kind of what is represented in this illustration here. So let's have a quick look. I can't remember if it has stickers on it. Okay, so it doesn't. So basically what I want to do is get these little watercolor paints into empty pans that I bought as well. So yeah, I'm going to do an unboxing, I guess, but it just has some instructions about how to paint skin, shadows, eyes for the illustration that came with it, which is kind of cool. And yeah, it just has like some little info about how to paint watercolor and a little bit about what colors were used in the palette illustration. So you can get a closer look at the colors here. We have like a black one, dark green, light green, dark blue, medium blue, kind of like a aqua, I guess, brown, red, yellow, kind of like a beigey color, and then hot pink maybe, or magenta, and then like this light pink color as well. So yeah, that's enough of the palette itself. I'll put that to the top there for a bit. But what I want to do to get myself creating in a space that's not just my bedroom with this small desk is to use this little watercolor palette that I got, which is like a travel kit one. I'll put a description link below, and it came with this clip. I don't think the clip is proprietary at all, but basically you can just clip it like this. And I guess you can also clip it to a sketchbook or something. So if you're like painting outside or whatever, you can use this. And yeah, you can use this little section for mixing paints. I just forgot to get my paintbrushes out, but for my paintbrushes, I use this sort of like roll up thing. Don't know how well you can see it, but yeah, all my paintbrushes are in here, so I can take it in a bag outside or something. But I'm just gonna get like a really small one for today. Gonna use this one and see what happens as we test putting these paints into the travel kit. So first I want to put them into the travel kit, and then I'm going to put them into this other one that I bought, which just has half pans. This palette only has 12 colors, but I think this is like a 24. I'm not going to count them on camera, so you'll have to trust me. But I thought this one was cute as well. It has like aluminium surface area for mixing as well, so I kind of want to fill this one with a little bit of paint into these ones as well. And I also have another palette that I'll probably put a little bit into as well. It's also Holbein watercolors, but like pastel opaque ones, so I'll do that after for the bottom row. And yeah, I'll probably use both of these palettes at some stage in the future, but yeah, that's what I'm going to be doing while I talk about my art goals for this year. So yeah, basically I was working in corporate in a tech job, and it wasn't my first time working in tech. I'd worked in a few companies, like tech companies, earlier in my career from 2019 after I graduated. I went to grad school in Tokyo, Japan, studying sociology at Tokyo University, and it was my master's course after I studied undergrad in Australia, where I studied like languages languages, so I was kind of like a language nerd, and I'd been interested in like anime style illustrations and things ever since I was a kid, but I never really was consistent with my art practice because I guess like a socialization wise, I was socialized as a boy or whatever, and like my parents thought more creative things weren't necessarily for me, so they pushed me in like academic pursuits, which was like languages and stuff. So that's what I focused on for the majority of my career, and I got jobs in tech through those language skills as well, mostly Japanese. And yeah, so I lived in Japan for like 6 years, from the age of like 23 to 29 I think, and then I worked at tech companies in Japan, Singapore, realized that the tech world is not for me. I never really wanted to be promoted, I guess, into like my manager's positions because they always looked so much more stressful. I was always like working in operations as well. It was kind of like a chill job, but the hours were like a little bit longer than normal, not just in Japan, but like even in Singapore and Australia as well. Yeah, I just didn't enjoy it. Like, and my most recent contract also didn't let me have like side hustles, so I always felt like a little bit tired after work and also a bit discouraged from even trying to make money for myself online or just in any way, because I just felt like I didn't want to breach my contract. And yeah, I ended up getting this cyst in my back. I know it's really gross, but it was quite big, and I realized that, oh my god, I have to get this out. So I had surgery, and then it disrupted my company a little bit when I had to take time off, and I was just not enjoying my job as much anymore, and I was still in probation. So I decided, okay, I think it's better for me to leave my job and just like try to focus on working on improving my art skills, learning more creative skills so I can build YouTube videos myself, because I really find it fun, but just like never felt free enough and like I had enough time in the day to focus on even bettering those skills or trying creative hobbies in general. So that's what I did. I quit my job literally like less than 2 weeks ago, and here I am making watercolor and digital art videos on YouTube, and I'm loving it. Like, I had tried to leave corporate in the past, and I actually freelanced for a couple of years with non-creative skills as a digital nomad traveling. I went all across Southeast Asia, and I even stayed in America for a few months and had like a really good time, met lots of interesting people, and I did try a little bit to be creative on the go, but I realized like I needed stability in terms of a location to be a bit more stable while I was creating. Because I found it really difficult to have a space to be creative and have all of my things set up on the go when you're like living out of a suitcase and like living in different places every like month or two. It's quite stressful for me. I don't know. I guess like I wasn't as adaptable to different environments with a skill set that I hadn't built up yet as I thought. So yeah, this is my most recent attempt to figure out how to focus on art and creativity and YouTube without struggles. So yeah, I will talk more about it, but we finished this little paint palette as well. I don't have water yet, so I'm just gonna like let these dry and maybe do a swatch test in another video, because this is just me getting ready to take my art out on the go. And so you can subscribe and like this video. Let me know in the comments where I should go to test these out. Should I go to a cafe? Should I go to the park? Should I just do it in my house? Anyway, so say goodbye to these. You'll hopefully see them in a new video. Okay, hopefully that dries. I will let you know in a future video if they did dry or not. But I'm gonna go ahead and switch to this new starry palette here and fill this one up as well. Might go from right to left this time. But yeah, I really enjoyed traveling, but I always wanted to just be more stable while I created. So yeah, I came back to my home country, Australia, which is where I am now, last year in March, I think. It wasn't due to wanting to come back in the first place. My mum had dementia, and my dad was like struggling with cancer at the time in his leg, and he had had operations, and my mum had to be hospitalized for dementia. So I came back to help out, and it was a little bit rough because I'd been away for like 8 years total, 6 years living in Japan, and then 2 years traveling around Southeast Asia and America and Australia a little bit too. And yeah, it was a little bit of like reverse culture shock. And then eventually I struggled to think, should I go back to Japan, work in corporate, try and get permanent residency there, which I would have been able to do in like 1 year. But I sort of gave up on that because I felt like I should be more around my parents, because I don't know how much time I have with them left. So I'm trying to enjoy my time with them, even though I moved out of my parents' house about like 5 months ago, now living elsewhere. So I can see them a little bit less and have some distance, but still be able to keep in touch and be in reach when it's needed. So that's a really good balance for me. And yeah, I got over my reverse culture shock. I'm now used to living in Australia again and have a stable place to start my artistic career from the ground up. So my goals, I guess, are to improve my digital art skills, improve my watercolor skills, learn how to draw and create character designs. I also worked in a gaming company in Japan for like 3 months. I was a game planner, but it was always was like my goal at that time to create art after work, and it never really happened that much after I got the job. I remember spending time before I got the job really excited and drawing a lot, and I started an Instagram account back then, which has since been privated, I think. And I was really enjoying it, but it's just like the same story. I'll get into a corporate job and I just like lose all of my desire and motivation and discipline to create things and learn to draw. So this time I'm trying to go about the learning to draw and learning how to create again and make YouTube videos from a standpoint of having savings that I saved up from my corporate job before, so I don't get flustered. And I also have the backup plan of getting a part-time job so I can figure it out a little bit more slowly and yeah, just like understand what works for me, what doesn't work for me. I think this is a new way of me trying that. So far I feel much more fulfilled. I don't worry about money at the moment. I have enough saved up for my living expenses for like 10 months or so without needing to get a part-time job, which is kind of nice. I feel like that's a good sort of like pressure cooker to put motivation on me to learn how to draw and paint better during that time and make a lot of YouTube videos and see what happens. I don't really have any expectations except for hopefully I improve and can meet more artists that are in a similar sort of stage of life or have similar goals, and try and figure out how I can like help you guys while I'm trying to help myself as well and make content. So those are kind of like my vague goals. I guess if you broke them down into something more specific, that would be like make more videos, publish them, improve my skills, but also put out more finished illustrations, whether those are digital or watercolor. I have an art Instagram as well, which is in the description below if you want to go see what kind of digital art I've done so far. I haven't done much watercolor yet because I was waiting for all my supplies and my desk to kind of be revamped into something more creative and fun. And yeah, so far that's what's been happening. I feel like this is designed for some sort of like watercolor pen to go into, so I'm gonna go put that in there and see if it fits, and yes it does. So yeah, that was the first row of Holbein watercolors. I don't know if this one comes from it. Yeah, it does. So let's put it back, put the cute little illustrated lid back on, and say goodbye to these ones, and like and subscribe to see if I use them in some palette in the future. But yeah, time for the next palette. So this is also by the same company, Holbein, I think German you pronounce it that way, I'm not sure. These ones are pastel and they're opaque, so there's 12 of them as well. I'm just gonna put them in like the bottom row here of this half pan tin to have a look at the colors. I don't really know how to call these ones, but like I love pastels, and even if they're not transparent watercolors like the top row are, they're kind of cute, so they're going in as well. And yeah, I'm just like enjoying planning videos out for YouTube. I started growing my new Instagram account as well, which is all about digital art and watercolor illustrations, but like the way that I'm growing it is kind of just posting into the void a little bit. But I'm aiming to make 5 illustrations per week during the weekdays and take weekends off, but during the weekends if I feel like posting something I'll allow myself to, but like my disciplined self is cutting it at 5 which is already a lot. So every Monday to Friday, regardless of what mood I am in or whatever is happening, I'm going to try and essentially force myself to post every day, whether it's a finished illustration or not, and just try to document my progress that way. As a beginner, I'm 32. I am a little bit embarrassed that my art skills aren't as good as a lot of other artists that are younger than me, but that's okay. Like everybody starts and stops at different times in life, and it just so happens that age 32 is my starting or restarting time. So if you're older or younger than me, just realize that you're on your own path and we can all sort of like flourish on our own pace. And that's how I rationalize spending a lot of time in my younger years doing different things, chasing corporate route, etc. I feel like I've half come to terms with it, and this channel is a push for me to really take fate back into my hands and redesign my life from the ground up as an artist and document the process, because it's really nerve-wracking, and there are some people out there that have done it and they really inspired me as well. I know one of them is Guways, I think that's how you pronounce it. He became a character designer, but just by like drawing and self-teaching himself. And then another YouTuber I really like and artist is Mimi Moo Illustrations. She is the one who I base my, I guess, like social media posting schedule from. She suggested to do this in her earlier videos, and that's how she grew her YouTube channel and Instagram art account as well, through doing 5 posts a week. And yeah, I started to draw this in your style challenges on Instagram because they're really fun, and they kind of like take the pressure off having to create something yourself, because you're like drawing somebody else's already designed character in your own art style, and it's kind of like a really fun way to network with other artists and also interact with other artists and get your artwork out there and grow your following in a way that's more wholesome. I have so much fun doing them, so I try to do like 2 a week, so 2 out of 5 of the weekly illustrations will be draw this in your style challenges. That's what I've done so far, and I'm really enjoying it. I think I have like 13 or 14 followers, something like that, so my art account on Instagram is still quite humble, which is fine, and it's really fun to sort of watch those numbers grow over time and sort of just like learn what works, what's fun, what is like achievable for me in terms of progress and posting schedule. So far 5 days a week is like nice. I just spent the weekend relaxing and not posting anything, and that was nice as well, and I feel super refreshed to create more art content on YouTube and Instagram. And yeah, I feel like so far this schedule is working for me quite well, and I feel like, I guess my goals, time will tell if I stick to them, but I feel like in the past I've tried sort of unsustainable methods like drawing every day, posting every day, and sometimes it's a little bit difficult. Like if you miss one day, you might feel a little bit unmotivated and stop altogether, but I feel like if you plan gaps for rest, it kind of eliminates the need to take huge amounts of time off from your goals and your art, and yeah, just like stay more consistent in the long run, because I feel like everything in life is kind of like a marathon. I used to feel like you had to achieve monumental things like very quickly in life, but I realized like it's way better if you slow down and you can just like adjust your approach as you go and not burn out. And that's kind of my mindset and philosophy towards art in 2025 and going forwards, what I want to do. So yeah, now I have my little travel palettes all set out and ready to paint in the future. I thought initially these tubes looked pretty small, but I didn't really squeeze that much out, and like I feel like this will last like a really long time, and it looks super pretty as well, so I'm really happy with them. If you have used Holbein watercolors before, let me know. Do you like them? Do you have a favorite brand or something? Do you do traditional art at all? Do you do digital? I'm kind of trying to do both, but I really like sort of like the tactile aspect of traditional art. And yeah, so let's have a look at the other small palette. So cute as well. And yeah, so I will leave these to, I guess, like set on my other table and come back to them in a later video. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed that like little intro to my past life and goals relating to me quitting my corporate job and wanting to go forward as an artist and everything. And yeah, so that's it for this vlog. Like and subscribe, leave a comment. How are you going about your art journey? What kind of things do you look forward to? Are you a beginner artist? Have you been drawing or painting for a while? Do you have any tips for me? Are you interested in starting a YouTube channel as well? Do you have a YouTube channel? Let me know, because I love to follow artists' YouTubes as well. It's so fun to look at and share all of our information and just like support each other and create like an online community where it's acceptable, I guess, or just like encouraged to pursue your most creative self instead of work at a corporate job and let your dreams die. Obviously there's a balance in between, but I have a feeling that my channel will probably attract people similar to me who just would rather ignore or diminish the need for a corporate job altogether and figure out how to make money creatively themselves. But yeah, love you besties. Bye. See you next time.